sure that your speakers are working. And then you can record the session for it. There is a question and answers button at the bottom. If you want to put your questions in there, we will be supplying you with the answers through our feedback questionnaire at the end of this webinar. So you can feel free to put any questions in there that you might like. Just a little note, if you are pressing the chat, everyone can see what you're asking. So if you don't want anyone to see that, you can just put it in the questions and answers. You can also click leave the meeting at any time if you need. So on to today's panelist, we have Michael Tobeck. He's an associate with Montec Carter, and he'll be your panelist today. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Christina. And thank you to all of you for attending. I know it's a very busy time of the year, so I appreciate you joining us today. Just a quick note that if you haven't downloaded your workbook yet, you can do that from the email that should have been sent out this morning, reminding you and inviting you along to the session today. So if you haven't got your workbook, I recommend going to that email and just downloading that. So just going to reflect on the thought of the day, which is a quote from Peter Drucker. So today's thought of the day is culture eats strategy for breakfast. No matter how great your strategy is, if you don't have the right culture in your workplace, you simply won't get great results. Today's webinar is about the three most influential drivers of a positive culture. That's your vision, your purpose, and your core values. Before we get stuck in, I just want to throw in our usual disclaimer that the information in this educational webinar is general in nature and no substitute for tailored advice specific to your particular circumstances. Let's have a look at today's agenda. We'll quickly overview the three cornerstones of culture. Then we'll delve deeper into how to develop your vision, purpose, and core values, and how these culminate in an important business asset, and that is your culture card. So make sure you are submitting your questions as we go. As Christina mentioned, we won't be having a question and answer session at the end, but what we will be doing is collating all of your questions and sending them out as part of the post-webinar pack. So why is workplace culture so important? Studies have shown that businesses with a great culture and an engaged team significantly outperform those without. Your vision, your purpose, and your values are three key elements of culture. When you spend time developing these, sharing them with your team, and ensuring you and your team truly believe and live into them, you'll create a sense of belonging for your team and your customers and build alignment throughout your business. You can use these cornerstones as a filter for decision-making, recruitment, and ensuring customers are the right fit for your business. Let's have a closer look at each one of these, and then I'll show you how you can pull them together into a culture card to support your team buy-in. The first cornerstone of culture is your vision. According to research published in the Harvard Business Review, evaluating tens of thousands of working people around the world, effectively enlisting the hearts and minds of your organization and a shared vision of the future differentiates leaders from non-leaders. In short, companies without an effective strategic vision struggle to provide a meaningful context for their goals, strategies, and implementation plans. Jim Collins, a celebrated author, speaker, and consultant, developed the concept of your vision comprising your core ideology and your envisioned future. To break this down even further, your core ideology consists of your core purpose and your core values. It's the enduring character of your business, a consistent identity that transcends product or market life cycles, management fads, and individual leaders. Your envisioned future translates your core ideology into a tangible goal. It's made up of a 10 to 30 year bag and vivid description. A bag is a big, hairy, audacious goal. In other words, a goal so big that you're forced to dramatically improve or you won't be able to achieve it. It should be a goal which may only have a 50 to 70% chance of achievement, but one which you truly believe you can achieve. It should be concise and easy to understand. Vivid descriptions are essential to make your bag tangible. They should paint a picture of what it looks like to achieve your bag. To use Jim Collins' words, your envisioned future should be so exciting in its own right that it would continue to keep the organization motivated, even if the leaders who set the goal disappeared. Each part is essential for success. Without progression towards a desired future state, your purpose and values become meaningless. But your future vision can't be achieved without the stable foundations created by your purpose and your values. So how do you articulate your vision? Here are some important guidelines for developing a clear vision statement derived from Change Factory. Write it in the present tense, not the future tense. Summarize your vision in a powerful phrase. Describe an outcome, the best outcome you can achieve. Use unambiguous language, which is easy to understand. Evoke emotion. It should be obviously and unashamedly passionate. It must help to build the same picture in people's minds. So here are some examples of great vision statements. Tesla's vision is to create the most compelling car company of the 21st century by driving the world's transition to electric vehicles. Nike's vision is to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. And they've defined an athlete as if you have a body, you are an athlete. LinkedIn's vision is to create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. Finally, I've put our vision statement here, which is be an empowered team enabling our clients to achieve their goals. This is significant to us as a business, as we pride ourselves on providing our clients with the tools and strategies to be successful business owners. It's not about us telling our clients what to do, but working with them collaboratively to generate appropriate solutions. As a result of this vision, we have a core focus on professional development for our team members, not just because it is a requirement as CAs, but because we know that the world is constantly changing. And for us to provide our clients with the best advice, we need to stay up to date with the latest information, technology, and thinking. Every business should have a clear vision statement. So if you don't, it's definitely something I would be thinking about. The second cornerstone of culture is your purpose. Your purpose is why your business exists for your customers, summarized in 7 words or less, or simply put, your why. Of course, your business exists to make a profit, but this is not your purpose. Your purpose is your reason for being, not a goal or business strategy. It's extremely important because, as Simon Sinek says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, which leads me to the golden circle. To better understand your purpose, let's look at the golden circle. This is created by Simon Sinek. Most businesses first describe what it is they do, followed by how they do it. But they often fail to talk about why the business exists for their customers. It's important to communicate from the inside out, building an emotional connection with customers. So how do you describe your why or core purpose? This should be 5 to 7 words defining why you exist for your customers. When you have a clear purpose that your team understands, it's much easier to achieve alignment of thinking. For example, our purpose is energize your business. For us, this means bringing life and energy to the dreams and aspirations of business owners, a renewed sense of purpose and motivation. I like to think of it as the aha moment when clients leave a meeting feeling more motivated than when they arrived because they have clarity over what they need to do and how they need to do it. When our teams live into the purpose, we're able to provide even greater success for our clients and our team. When you've articulated your purpose, you can then talk about the how, your unique selling point or brand promise. And when customers understand your why and how, you can then discuss the what, the products or the services you offer to achieve your why. So here are 5 characteristics of a good purpose, according to Jim Collins. It must be inspiring to your whole team. Everyone on your team should not only know your purpose, they should believe in it. It must be as valid in 100 years as it is now. This means it needs to be broad enough to capture what you do, but not specific to your products or your services, as they may change. It should help you consider what you could be doing, but aren't. What products or services could you offer which will help you live into your purpose while staying relevant to what customers want? It should also help you decide what not to do. Are your new products or service ideas relevant to your purpose? If not, should you really be starting them? It should also be truly authentic to your business. You can't copy someone else's purpose, and you can't make one up thinking it's what your customers want to hear. You must live into it. So let's look at some examples of purpose statements. Tesla's is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. Notice how their purpose doesn't actually mention vehicles. This opens Tesla up to other opportunities in the sustainable energy industry. Netflix's purpose is to entertain the world. Zoom's is to make video communications frictionless and secure. You can see how these would be inspiring to their team, will be valid in 100 years, helps them think about what they could be doing, helps them decide what not to do, and are truly authentic to the business. Going back to our purpose, energize your business. We have recently been through a refresh exercise of our core purpose, our core values, which I'll come back to later, and our brand promise. This refresh was spurred by a recent turnover of staff, as well as a shift in strategic focus towards business advisory. At the beginning of this exercise, my expectation was that our purpose would change. However, not for want of trying, we've ended up with the same core purpose we have always had. Now, why is that? It's because no matter how much change there is in the business, the reason we exist has never and will never change. Right, let's take a look at the third cornerstone of culture, and that is your core values. These are timeless guiding principles that speak from the heart of your business. Your core values are almost like a set of fundamental rules of engagement for you, your team, and your customers. Core values are extremely powerful. They should act as decision-making filters. If a possible decision doesn't align with your core values, you should consider other options which do. Numerous studies show that the core values are a key driver of team engagement. Data tells us this equates to less sick leave, lower team turnover, and less time spent recruiting, less rework, better communication, higher innovation, higher productivity, and higher profitability. Your core values can also be used to resolve conflict. Are both parties to the conflict living into your core values? Use your core values to guide desired behaviors and come up with resolutions. Your core values are the heart of your identity. So let's take a closer look at what I mean by this. Let me introduce you to the identity iceberg, which demonstrates the impact of our values have on our actions and our behaviours. Above the surface, we have our actions, which are visible, but these are simply the tip of the iceberg. They're what we, our clients, and our team members see and experience, but they're driven by what's beneath the surface. Immediately beneath the surface are our habits. These habits are driven by our thinking, which is influenced by our beliefs. And as we move towards the bottom of the iceberg, our values, which are driven by our identity. Our identity defines our values. So as a business, we need to delve deep below the surface to capture the values that reflect our identity, our brand, and bring those to the surface so that we can consciously allow them to influence the behavior we want. Each of your core values need to be a clear definition. Everyone understands what they mean. As I mentioned earlier, this is an activity that we have recently refreshed within our own organization. And so here is our recommended approach for you to follow to derive and clearly define your core values. Firstly, allocate uninterrupted time to this process. It should be taking you about half a day. Secondly, use an experienced facilitator to guide the process. This ensures that everyone's points of view is heard and no one dominates the outcome. The brainstorming process identifies all potential values that may feature in our core values or their definitions. This can be as many as you like. For example, in our process, I think we came up with around 15 to 20 words that we wanted to have as our or we thought fit within our core values. Stick to a limit of no more than 5 core values. These should then be distilled into 1 to 3 words each. Next, define each core value using no more than 10 words for each definition. Ensure they're relevant to you as owners and to your team and clients. It's really important to avoid using hygiene values, as these won't differentiate your business from your competitors. Words like honesty and professionalism, which should be a given for any business and not part of your core values. One for us, for example, was ethical. As CAs, we are bound by a code of ethics, and so it is a given that we act ethically, and therefore should not be one of our core values. Now, on the next slide, you're going to see a slight variation from your workbook. That is because we have, this morning, finalized our core values following our recent review. So you're actually the first people to see these new values. Unfortunately, as these are so new, we haven't been able to put them into any marketing collateral. But the important thing is the values themselves. So following the process, we have come up with these 5 core values for our business, and each of them have been defined. So the first of these is respect, and that's about accepting and embracing our differences. Secondly, commitment. We take ownership and we hold ourselves accountable. The third is collaborative, and that's about working together. Now, that's not just working together with our clients, but working together as a team as well. The next is innovative. We're always looking for ways to be better. It's about problem solving. And finally, personable. What's important to us is that we relate to you. You know, we don't want to be using jargon. We don't want to be using accountanese, as they call it. We want to be on the level of our clients. So these cornerstones of culture, So these cornerstones of culture, vision, purpose, and core values can be pulled together to create a culture card. Your culture card brings alignment of behavior and energy to create a workplace where everyone is comfortable and happy in how they contribute to the overall success of the business. Having a culture card front of mind in your organization is a constant reminder of business expectations and aspirations. Provide a copy of your culture card to each team member so everyone understands and can recite your vision, your purpose, and your core values. So how do you bring your culture to life? Well, here's a simple but effective process. Firstly, after finalizing your vision, purpose, and your core values, create your culture card and share it with your team. We have a culture card template we can provide, which will give you a starting point. We recommend getting this professionally designed if you don't have a design resource in-house, because this can become a key part of your marketing collateral. Ensure your team has these committed to memory. Promote them on your website and use them in your marketing, as I've mentioned. Ensure your vision, purpose, and values are highly visible within your workplace. Displaying your culture card is a great way to do this. Walk the talk and share clear examples of when team members utilize these cornerstones for conflict resolution, decision-making, or to praise a colleague. For example, in our own organization, we are actually going to have a core value of the month in which one team member will present to our fortnightly team meeting what that means to them. We're also having wins and recognitions where people within the organization can reflect on examples of where they have seen others living into the core values. This is really important to make sure that the core values remain front of mind and that we are living into them every day. Finally, review them annually. And this isn't just to ensure they're 100% relevant, but so new team members understand how they came about and refresh the whole team on their importance. So what are your next steps? My aim is to help you take what you've learned today and implement some positive change in your business. As you can see, this is something that we have been doing in our own business, and that is because we believe in the value of it. So what are your next steps from here? Make the choice to improve the culture of your business today. By putting a line in the sand, you're taking the first positive step towards improving your results. If you already have a vision, purpose, and core values, decide whether or not you need to review them. If you don't have these in place, then work out the best way to create them. Once you've developed them, ensure they're visible, that you're living into them, and they're clear to your team and your customers. These are all things you can do. Don't focus on the things that are out of your control. And of course, if you need help from us, we're here for you and want to help. Now, the information in this educational webinar is general in nature and no substitute for specific tailored advice and support. There are several ways that we can help you more specifically beyond today's webinar. Business planning is a fundamental framework for improving your culture. For clarified vision, purpose, and values, right through to planning and goal alignment within your team. We can also facilitate a core values development session with your team to develop your unique core values. If you're not quite ready to commit to a full service, we can send you our Golden Circle worksheet. This steps you through each layer of the Golden Circle to clarify your why and learn how to articulate to customers, then position your how and your what. Of course, if you're not sure of the best way forward with your business, we can have a complimentary meeting to discuss your unique situation. Now, as mentioned previously, we are not going to have a specific Q&A session in this webinar, but what we do ask is that if you do have any questions, please pop them into the Q&A box. What we will then do is we'll collate the questions and provide answers to those and submit it as part of the post-webinar feedback. And just a reminder, at the end of this webinar, you will have a website open up with a link to a survey. We would really appreciate for you guys to complete that survey, as it allows us to work on what we need to work on to improve for any further webinars. And it also gives you the opportunity to let us know how we can help you. So this is my parting thought. Make a simple plan today. Commit to at least 3 actions you will take as a result of today's webinar. Write them down. Don't give each of them an owner and completion date. Remember, if you need our support, we are here. Thanks for making the time to attend this webinar. We appreciate that your time is very valuable. So please, can you complete the brief exit survey following the session so we can continuously improve and get your feedback on what other webinar topics you'd like to see from us. We hope we've given you plenty of ideas to ponder and some clear next steps for you and your business. Thank you.